This exercise is the 90-90 hip lift with ball hold or foam roller hold, teaching you how to align your pelvis and your rib cage through the breath. It's also great to teach your hamstrings how to control the tilt of your pelvis, especially important if you have a pronounced what we call anterior pelvic tilt. So if your pelvis is a bucket of water and this is neutral, where the pelvis and rib cage are stacked, if you walk around naturally and water is pouring out the front like this, you have a low arch in your back, this drill is excellent for it. I also want to preface this video with saying if you've never done any kind of breath work, have no connection to your pelvic floor, take time exploring and don't get frustrated with it. Also, probably don't take stimulants before because it's going to make this process a lot harder, okay? So the most important part of this whole thing is obviously the breath and knowing the breath pattern. So right now I am going to talk you through the breath pattern and then I'm going to show you the setup and the drill and how we apply the breath pattern. Okay? First thing to know is that whenever you breathe in, the diaphragm drops down, allowing space in the abdomen, and your pelvic floor also drops down and lengthens. Whenever you breathe out or exhale, the diaphragm comes back up or recoils and the pelvic floor comes back up. You can think about your pelvic floor like a trampoline. On the inhale, it's lengthening, and on the exhale, it's coming back up, okay? And when we talk about 360 breath, that means you are able to push air in the front, sides, and back of your rib cage, not just belly breathing that you hear a lot about on the internet. Okay, so that's the inhale portion. Now, whenever we set up this drill, we're going to start with an inhale, or as much as we can inhale, because if you do have, because the way that your axial skeleton is aligned, you might not be able to push air in certain areas, and that's exactly what this drill is helping you do. All right, so get a big inhale as much as you can, and then we're going to start with about a 6-second sighing exhale. None of the breaths should ever be forced. They're soft, they're gentle, and you should never feel this exercise in your neck whatsoever. If you do, reset. You can also add like a small towel underneath your neck to help. Okay, so again, going back to the start, you're inhaling and then we're doing a 6-second sighing exhale. The sensation that you're going to feel whenever you do this is your pelvic floor, again, is coming up, the musculature of your pelvic floor. So if you have a blueberry, you can think about it traveling on an elevator up, up, up as the tension increases. You also get the sensation of maybe your two hip bones coming together and like you're wearing a corset, and you'll feel a lot of abdominal tension. And also your ribs coming back and down in space, and your lower back, I would say like flattening out or aligning with your pelvis through the breath. Once you have this tension, you're going to hold it, and then you're going to close your mouth. You're going to breathe in through the nose. If you remember, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. It's going to be about like a 4-second inhale. That's where we're really trying to get the expansion, okay? Use the setup to push the air. Once you do the inhale, then pause and then breathe out through what I like to call pursed lips. The whole time you have that initial abdominal tension that you created through the first breath. Now here's the setup. You'll want to find a flat wall, lie down on your back, and you'll want a 90-degree angle between your ankle, your knee, and your hip. Move your hair clip out of the way. If you can't get into this position because of mobility restrictions, it's fine to be more at like a 60-degree angle or whatever, okay? It's no big deal. Feet shoulder width apart. You'll want an object that allows you to stay shoulder width apart, whether that be like a foam roller or one of those like Pilates balls, but please nothing like this, okay? Then in this position, you want to feel the contacts of underneath your big toe and inner heel against the wall. Make sure they're flat, make sure your feet are straight, and that you're kind of squeezing into the object like a 5 out of a 10. Then I want your arms up, palms facing the back wall, and slight reach, so creating just a little bit of space between your shoulder blades, not like anything crazy. It's just a slight reach, okay? And then from here, we're going to start with that 360 inhale, the exhale, okay? Once you have the exhale, you are going to drive your heels down into the wall, okay, to engage the hamstrings. Now, we're not doing a glute bridge, but your tailbone and lower back should be pressed slightly against the ground and just a very little bit come up. Okay, again, we're not doing a glute bridge. It's just a very subtle thing. And your ribs and your pelvis and everything should be stacked on top of each other and should feel really good, okay? And then we're doing the breath pattern and we're gonna go through like 6 of them. So I'm gonna do it. It's probably gonna be loud in this microphone, hopefully. Yeah, it's probably gonna be loud in this microphone, but hopefully that's a good setup here, okay? And again, if you don't get this the first time, you're probably not. Just readjust and practice. This breath is the foundation for everything and everything that can apply to lifting heavier loads safely. All right, so here we go. Feet against the wall. Slight reach. Never feeling this in my neck. I'm going to take a big inhale. Sighing exhale. Drive. Feet down. Okay, holding that tension, close the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Feel the expansion. One more. I recommend to really drive home the adaptations, doing this twice a day for 2 sets of 5 to 10 breaths, really focused on getting really good reps in so that those can be applied whenever you're doing stuff all day unconsciously. It's going to take time to learn. So if you feel frustrated, just be with it, maybe step away from it for a little bit. And as always, you can DM me with any questions. You can find me on Instagram at Jasmine Ozaman or more videos on my YouTube. There's also, with my clients, if they're not understanding this, I put them in different positions to understand the breath work and push air in areas that they may need first. So just stick with it and you can always reach out. Y'all have a good day.